no voo TAP Air Portugal 564, com destino a Hamburgo, porta de embarque 25. Last call for the remaining passengers on TAP Air Portugal, flight 564 to Hamburg, gate 25.
Sophie decided to spend the year teaching English in Madrid. Ever since the newspaper she was working on folded, she had been forced to seek employment at a celebrity online fashion blog, writing about such subjects as what booties Reese Witherspoon was wearing to rehab. And inspired by celebrity footwear and depressed that she was never going to meet her goal of being a serious journalist and winning a Pulitzer by age 26, she opted instead to wait out the current journalistic drought by teaching overseas. This move also served to postpone other decisions, like marrying her college boyfriend, who was growing impatient with her delays.
Senhoras e senhores, ainda estamos presenciando ligeira dificuldade devido à baixa temperatura por toda a Europa. Por favor, mantenha-se pacientes, que em breve teremos maiores informações. Ah, e sim, Feliz Natal!
Mesdames, Messieurs, en raison de graves perturbations dues aux conditions glaciales qui traversent l'Europe, nous vous prions de bien vouloir rester patients. Nous vous tiendrons informés de l'évolution de la situation. Oh, et joyeux Noël à tous.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are still experiencing significant problems due to the freezing conditions throughout Europe. Please be patient and we will keep you updated as soon as we have any further information. Oh, Merry Christmas!
Alexander, on the other hand, expected something different from life. He had reluctantly accepted the fact that ultimately he would need to grow up, go to law school, get a job, and succumb to a day-to-day existence marked by a lack of excitement. But as of yet, he wasn't willing to do so. He hungered for something more, but wasn't exactly sure what that was.
Whatever's on tap. Beer. Cerveza. Uno. Ein. Por favor. American?
Shows?
I read it on your luggage tags.
It's, pronounced ongi?
Huh?
One in Portuguese.
Thanks. New York?
Yes, you?
Los Angeles.
Ah.
Say thank you.
Obrigado. And that is the full extent of my Portuguese.
Obrigado. Cheers.
Salud.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Another?
Sophie hesitated. As a rule, she didn't encourage conversation on airplanes or in airports, and was wary of drink buyers who inevitably expected something in return. But she was feeling fatalistic after her 3 glasses of port, and besides, this guy was American and looked as if they shared the same context. And his eyes crinkled in a nice way. She surprised herself by answering,
Why not? I mean, not like we're going anyplace anytime soon.
Yeah, I hear we could be here all night. What are you drinking?
Port.
Tastes like NyQuil.
You develop a taste. When in Rome, and all that.
Sir, another NyQuil for the lady. Un NyQuil?
Very good.
So, where are you going?
Home.
How long you been traveling?
I've been living in Madrid for a year teaching English.
That's cool. How do you like Madrid?
I loved it. I loved all of Spain. Everything about it. So laid back, non-neurotic. The total antithesis of New York. Their economy's in the toilet, but they still have a good time. How about you? Where are you off to?
It's the end of the road for me too.
What are you doing in Lisbon?
I'm taking the circuitous route. My mom, she works for the airline, so I get a flight free.
Wow, lucky.
I have to go stand by, and it's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, there could be a lot of stops along the way. Still, it's always an adventure.
Any of Lisbon while you were here?
Yeah, I actually stopped off for a couple days. Okay, don't ask because it sounded romantic in Casablanca, but...
Rick, I want those letters of transit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Too bad it doesn't live up to its fantasy image.
God, the place is kind of a dive.
It's known for its melancholia. They pride themselves on it. It's supposed to be like the melancholia capital of the world.
That's because the food sucks.
Not a fried cod fan.
It's all they serve. That and ham, of course. And you must have OD'd on that in Spain.
Well, you clearly didn't make it south to the beaches. They're really beautiful. Big rock formations, gorgeous turquoise waters. Lagos is the best. Stunning coastline, big sandy shore.
Damn. I blew it.
Next trip.
Yeah.
At this point, there was a lull in the conversation, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Alexander started thinking how, after 3 days in Lisbon, with squat and attractive people who only spoke Portuguese and smelled like fish, this was feeling really good.
So, where were you before here?
New Zealand. I'm a Fulbright.
Seriously? That's cool.
It was incredible. Yeah, without a doubt, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. It's so hard to get back.
I know what you mean.
You know, all that LA, New York, oh, what's the newest club? Can you get me on the list kind of shit? Like, it's so not real. It's like, duh, but it's just like, that's all there is. So I just like, besides the fact New Zealand, it's one of the most awesomely beautiful places on the whole earth. Like, there's glaciers, there are rainforests, there are caves, there are black sand beaches. Here, look.
Sort of Brazilian vibe.
Yeah, I mean, the untouched beaches and rainforest part, not the Rio Copacabana, but the Four Seasons scene, you know, and it's refreshing, you know, to go somewhere in the world where you don't run into somebody that you know from high school or like a million people. They come and ask you like, hey, do you know so-and-so from Brown?
Oh, you went to Brown? Do you know...
Exactly. The Maori, okay, they're incredible.
Who are the Maori?
They're the indigenous people in New Zealand. And they're totally in sync with the cultures and the language and the ancestry. Like, I don't know, I probably sound like a big dork, right?
No. Not at all.
Like, we spent like time in the tribal villages and studying their carvings. And each iwi, it has its own special carving and it tells the story of the entire tribe. Like, literally, the whole history of New Zealand, it is in these carvings. They take experience and years and incredible skill.
Amazing.
They say that when you step inside their meeting house, you're literally stepping into the soul, the spirit of the iwi. Some of them, they tattoo their face with the carvings, like even the women.
Why are they all sticking their tongues out?
It's part of their war dance. Yeah, they don't fight other tribes anymore. It's just ceremonial, and they do them like a hanging or like a luau, like a luau, and dance. It's a big part of their lives, right? And all the hakas, they end with like an outstretched tongue and like big bug eyes, like. No, seriously. They say that the longer your tongue is and the more that you can flop it out, the more intimidating you are to your enemies.
Well, context is everything. Hey, what's important is you're intimidating to the other Maoris.
Anyway, country's just awesome. It's all about conservation, not only in the green sense. Like, I learned so much, it was mind-blowing, like a whole new way of thinking. Every day, we perform these tasks related to conservation, like weeding and planting and beach cleanup, frog tracking.
Frog tracking. I'm picturing you like crawling around on all fours, following after French frog.
It has a lot to do with eco-balance. We should take a lesson from these people. And I'm not just talking about Whole Foods or wearing recycled t-shirts from Urban Outfitters. Like, these people, they have an amazing perspective on the world. And I could speak the language fluently after a couple weeks, so I could really talk with them and get to know them.
You learned Maori? That's impressive.
It's very close to Tahitian, which I already knew, so.
Shut up. You know Tahitian?
Gap year.
Crazy. I went to Buenos Aires.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but not quite as off the map. Say something in Tahitian.
Ya tehu.
What does that mean?
How are you? And you say mate well if you're well, that is. And if you're very well, you say mate roa.
Matairoa. Did you travel anywhere else while you were in New Zealand?
After Rotorua, I flew down to the south and I caught up with like 40 more international volunteers. And for the next 3 months, we just hung out together. Like we just touring around, water rafting, bungee jumping. That's where it originated. And they have this hike. Okay, it's called the Milford Track. And it's one of like the finest, most rare hikes in the world. You have to make reservations like months in advance.
And now you're going back.
Yeah. And all these incredible things I did and I saw and I went through for the last year are over. They don't mean anything now. It's just a story I'm going to be telling myself when I'm sitting around and I'm shooting this shit. And when someone says, hey, you ever been to New Zealand?
Oh, well, at least you learned to speak fluent Maori.
Yeah, that'll come in handy in LA. You want to hear the weirdest thing? I didn't tap into the news the whole time I was there. I didn't care. It was like I was just in this time blip or whatever. And like I pushed the pause button on life.
Oh my God, I know exactly what you mean. Like, who the fuck even cares, right? Like, forget the master plan.
I bought an International Herald a couple days ago. I sat in Starbucks, like, welcome home. And I drank a double latte bullshit and I read the newspaper and I felt completely disconnected. Like, all the things I was reading about, all the things that were happening to people on an entirely different planet. Like, it had nothing to do with me. And that's when I knew I was coming home.
Attention. Passengers on flight 890 connecting in Paris, then on to New York, JFK.
That's me.
Hey, me too.
We're on the same flight?
Just to Paris, and then I go straight to LA. If I get on, that is.
We are still experiencing significant delays due to the freezing conditions in Paris. Check with gate 24 at 1650 hours.
Oh.
Hold on.
A few more hours in an airport bar.
Guess we'll just have to drink more. Unis, And then that.
Are you looking forward to going home?
Law school starts in 3 weeks.
You don't sound so enthusiastic.
Oh, my daddy won't let me defer again. He says it's time to do something where I can end up with something that doesn't just go away.
Is that what you want to do? Be a lawyer?
Doesn't mean I have to be one. My dad thinks everyone needs a law degree, whether you practice or not, and shit. It's not like there's even jobs anymore when you get out. Like one of my buddies, he graduated review from Harvard Law. He gets this big job from review at Harvard Law, and he gets this big job at Loeb and Loeb, and he puts a down payment on his house. He buys a new Audi, everything. And the week before he's supposed to start, they pull the plug. They rescind the offer. They say because of the economy, they're forced to downsize.
God.
Yeah, now he works at an Apple store.
Sucks.
My dad says that by the time I graduate, the economy will have turned around. I can write my own ticket. You know, I hate phrases like that, right? Write my own ticket. What does he think I've been doing? He's just listening to me. I've been spending all this time talking about myself, and you probably think that I'm like a really pretentious dick or something, right?
No, you're just enthusiastic.
Let's talk about you. What about you?
What do I do, you mean, or am I looking forward to going home?
What do you want to do when you grow up?
Sophie hesitated. She wasn't sure how to answer. Would she still legitimately call herself a journalist? Was she, in fact, just a fraud?
I'm a journalist.
I thought you said English teacher.
That was only temporary. The newspaper I was working on folded, and I couldn't really find anything. I mean, I had this other job, but it was like the antithesis of what I wanted to do. So I decided to take some time off, you know, change the scene, maybe think about writing a book. It's the nature of journalism. The whole industry is in a state of flux. Things are changing, and there's always going to be the news. You hungry?
Starving.
Think we can get something to eat here other than what I caught?
God, I hope so. It's in Portuguese.
Luckily, they have those little photos.
Order in Spanish. I want to hear you. Bet you're really good.
They won't talk to you if you speak in Spanish. They're insulted. They're very sensitive about it. Never got over the events of the 11th century or whatever. What do you want? Like a panini that's safe?
Anything other than ham, okay, or fish.
Tomato and cheese.
Yeah, that's good. Do you ever have times in your life, I mean like moments when everything's like sort of okay and chill?
You don't have to keep looking over your shoulder wondering, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, when everything's good, maybe not everything. I mean, obviously that's wildly unrealistic, but when there are more good things than not good things.
I think that's called happy.
Is there an app for that?
I felt like that the whole time in Spain.
Me too, in New Zealand.
And not just for a moment, you know, it's Spain.
Yeah, I'd like to find something in life that makes me feel like that, you know?
You get it.
Yeah. I like you.
It's Paul, my Hey. No, still delayed.
During Sophie's conversation with Paul, both she and Alexander were experiencing vague feelings of awkwardness. If you ask them, neither one could say why.
Yeah, but they said 2 more hours, but you know, who knows? Yeah, it's still snowing pretty hard. Oh, just sitting here by myself. We'll celebrate tomorrow. Listen, I better go. This is expensive. It sounds like they're announcing something. I will. Okay. Me too. Bye.
Boyfriend?
Fiance.
Mm.
We're engaged.
It's not at all inconsistent with being fiancé to a fiancé.
Alexander couldn't help himself. Sensing ambivalence, he decided to probe further.
It must have been really difficult being away from him for so long.
Well, we talked every day, and we Skyped 3 times a week. And he visited for a month last summer. We went on a crystal cruise out of Barcelona. Unfortunately, he got food poisoning in Malta, so we had to fly back.
Still, he must be anxious to get you back, get you started on for the rest of your life, you know?
He's given me an ultimatum. He won't let me postpone the wedding any longer.
So these are the last few hours of your freedom.
Yes. I suppose they are.
What's he like?
Tall. Very tall.
Tall is good. I like tall Paul. I wish I were taller.
He's extremely grounded and reliable and realistic.
What does he do?
An engineer. Reliability engineering.
Reliable even in his work. Wow.
He likes to make reservations. He understands the beauty of knowing exactly where he's going before he gets there.
Yeah.
Decent and stable, and he knows what he wants. Better yet, he knows what he doesn't want.
He sounds great.
He is.
So what are you gonna do?
What am I going to do? I'm gonna go home and try to find something in my field. Maybe freelance for a while till something opens up, and then I'll have the big wedding at Pierre with 7 bridesmaids. Because Paul has 4 sisters, I have 2, plus my roommate from college. And we'll go to Hawaii using miles on our honeymoon. And the most adventurous thing we'll do there is try hula dancing at the hotel's booth. And then his parents will give us the down payment as a wedding present, and we'll move to Long Island and buy a big house with a great room and wine cellar and a bidet. I'll get my nails done on Thursdays and have 2.3 children.
São passageiros viajando no voo 890, com destino a Paris. Temos uma boa notícia. O tempo melhorou e estaremos partindo dentro de 1 hora do portão 64B.
Votre attention! Une bonne nouvelle pour les passagers voyageant sur le vol 890 ayant une correspondance à Paris. Les conditions météo se sont améliorées et nous partirons dans 1 heure, porte 64B.
Attention! Passengers traveling on flight 890 connecting in Paris, we have good news. The weather has lifted and will be departing in 1 hour from gate 64B.
It's us.
Yeah.
We better go.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. Funny. Everyone promised if we killed ourselves to be the top, get top grades, great board scores, get into a top college, the world would be ours. We could be anything we wanted. And I did. I did it. I worked so hard. And I used to think, I mean, there was never any doubt in my mind. I was going to be someone. Do something significant. By this time I was 30. It all feels so far away right now. Like, as far away as the moon.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you sit on a remote or something and the TV jumps from a show you know so well when you've watched from the beginning to one you don't recognize at all.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
But then, okay, you start watching something and you kind of get into it and you say, hey, you know, this isn't bad. It's in fact, it's pretty good.
Maybe you even pick up season 1 and 2 and see what you miss.
You know, it really doesn't cost that much to travel if you do it right.
I still have a little money saved up.
You could crash with people you know. Stay in hostels.
The train down to Algos costs practically nothing.
You did say I should see the beaches.
By the way, what's your name?
It's Alexander.
I'm Sophie.
Hey, Sophie.
Sophie never did return home to that grand wedding to Paul and the house in Long Island with the great room and the bidet. And she never saw Hawaii, preferring more exotic locales with a like-minded traveling companion who never made reservations. When last spoken to, she was thinking of writing a book. Alexander decided to forgo law school, but made millions creating a green startup, solar wearables that harness the power of the sun. He was recently named one of the world's leading experts in sustainability. He has suggested to Sophie she write his biography. Maybe it will win a Pulitzer.
SOPHIE-ALEXANDER-LISBOA. So everybody come on back. This is Kimberly Green. Thank you, Kimberly, as Sophie. Kristen Rodrigo as our bartender. And Blaine Kern as Alexander. And I would love to invite Wendy in. Wendy Graf, who's our playwright. Hello, Wendy. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Wendy. And so for everybody in our audience, so we do a little bit of a talk back at this point. And you guys are welcome to either chat in your questions or comments, or you could certainly go to, there's a Q&A tab as well on the bottom, so you could jump into that. And then we're good to go. Jonathan Levitt says hi to everybody, and says hi to Christian too, because he hasn't seen you in a long time. This is great. I'm going to ask my first question to Wendy, actually, because Wendy, it's your first time here, and it's Christian's first. Actually, it's Kimberly is the only veteran.
So it's Blaine and Christian's first time as well. But Wendy, my question is that what inspired you to write this piece?
I wrote it after my son took his semester abroad.
Got it. And was this based on your conversation with him, or like how he shared it, or how did all that work?
No, I think when people come back from a long time traveling, whether it's a semester abroad or it's a Fulbright or it's, some kind of long extended trip, you don't want to, a lot of times you don't want to come home. You want to stay in that bubble of unreality, so I sort of drew on that. And then this actually ultimately turned into a full-length play called Unemployed Elephants, a Love Story.
Got it. Fantastic. By the way, I've lived in that bubble. It's a fantastic bubble.
It is.
So I did the Europe thing after college also, long time ago. And it's great. It's great. Nobody wants to come home. So Blaine, tell me, and Christian as well, tell me your first experience with smartphone theater. Like butter, or what are your thoughts? Either one of you could jump in.
I'll go first. It's fun, it's like, it feels harder to connect on this medium, but it also it's challenging. And I set up her on an eye line on my iPhone over here so I could look at her while I'm talking. And I got a message in the middle of the thing that I was too low. So I'm but it's fun. It's really
all very strategic. All very strategic.
It's a lot more. It's crazy. It's like throwing up a play. We rehearsed maybe 3 or 4 days, and I'm not that used to doing theater in general. So it was very adrenaline rushing. But I mean, doing anything live is just a blast, no matter what medium it is.
Good. Well, I'm thrilled that you are now part of the family. This is great. This is really wonderful. And Christian.
Yeah, for me it was a horrible experience now. It was wonderful I know Todd from a long time ago, and,
yes.
And I was super happy when he told me, "Oh, would you like to be a part of that?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." This was a strange role because I was more like an observer, which was super interesting to watch these two amazing actors doing their jobs and just trying to explain somehow what was going on. So it was a wonderful, but as our Alexander said, it was quite challenging to know how to deal with the tech and the distance and where to put myself, where should I move, where should I put I don't know. It was a little bit weird, but interesting and very powerful for us.
Right. And I have to tell you, it was a pleasure because we know each other. I mean, a lot, always, funny enough, always through theater, but from producing. So it was actually great to get you, Christian, to get you on camera or on stage. So that was terrific. Absolutely terrific. So I'm very curious, we're going to sort of segue into how people have been keeping creative in this last 12 months, because this is we're 12 months into smartphone theater, and people have been doing digital theater around town and pretty much all over the country. And I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. So I'm very curious, especially from you guys, how you, now Kimberly, I know you've done 3, this might be your 4th now. Yes. So Christian, how are you keeping the creative juices flowing?
Well, I'm the director of a theater festival. So last year I was preparing the festival until we decided to cancel because of the COVID. So I get to be really focused on choosing plays and getting in touch with a lot of people. But then I've been quite lucky because I've been working as an actor, and I've been shooting in Atlanta a series, and then here I've been doing quite a lot of voiceover and a couple of other interesting projects. So I can't complain. In fact, it gave me more time to just enjoy every single step of the process. So I'm pretty happy.
Oh, good.
Above all, yeah.
Good. Wendy, are you writing a lot during this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really stuck on writing something new. I wanted to write something new at the beginning. And, people were saying, oh, well, Shakespeare wrote King Lear during the pandemic. And I felt like a total failure because I got page 20 like 4 times and it just went nowhere. I actually ended up writing 3 plays into film.
Good.
And then I had a number of small pieces, a couple of commissions, and that was really fun.
Great.
And I participated in that virtual LA, where all the theaters in LA put up short pieces.
Right.
And I participated in that through Open Fist. And one of the pieces that I was commissioned to do with Lower Depth Theater, I've just recently been writing into a full length.
Great.
So I guess I'm still trudging on.
You're keeping busy.
My things that have been postponed for a year won't be postponed for another year. So
yeah, I know.
Just to get back in the theater.
Do you have conversations with anyone about when we could realistically get back into a live theater?
Well,
like everybody else?
So far, I have 3 things on the books, and one of them is in Florida, and they're open already.
Yeah.
And they've been open the whole time.
Yeah.
One of them is in Victoria, I'm sorry. And it was supposed to open last May, and we had tickets and we were going to go and we were going to spend time in Vancouver and we were going to, and it's been postponed till November and we just have our fingers crossed. And then I have a big equity production that was supposed to go last August down in Long Beach at ITC. ICT, and it's been postponed to this August. And so far, she's been doing the early part of the season on virtual.
Right.
We'll just see.
Right.
It's a hard one to do virtually because it's very theatrical and it has 6 characters, I think. But
yeah, that offers challenges.
We'll see. Nobody knows.
Right. Yeah, the more movement and the more theatricality, it makes it's all very possible. It's all because I've done so many, but also for other people as well. And it just takes a lot of rehearsal and you really have to block it out. It's because cues and theatricality and moving in and out can all be done. It just takes a lot of practice, an awful lot of practice. Rick, I have your hand up. Rick Sandak, are you still, I'm not sure how long your hand has been up, but I'm going to activate your mic. So, if you have something, jump in. Otherwise, I'm going to turn your mic off. So, Rick. Oh, Paul Coates. So I'm going to jump in. Paul, go for it.
Hello. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Paul.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you. Good to hear your voice. I don't see you.
Yours too. I just have a couple things I wanted to say. First of all, I was having a hard time focusing because I thought I have to work with all 3 of these actors immediately.
Good. That's great.
In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? All right, where can I move? And then I thought, shut up, watch the play. All right, calm down. You can do that later. I actually have been to Portugal and I've been to Lisbon and I've been to Lagos. So I really sort of got the whole vibe whenever you guys talked about it, which was fantastic.
Good.
I know a couple of you are sort of new to this format. It didn't show. It really didn't show. I would never have known that you haven't been doing this as long as Kimberly has, because she got it down. She got it down, but you guys do too. And it really, I'm sure a lot of that goes to Todd because he really knows what's going on, but it didn't show. Good. I was completely involved. And then I have to say, I've been inundated in the last year or two, even before COVID, with people that write plays that are really not plays, they're conversations, which I kind of grow tired of and after about 15 minutes. And this comes across as a conversation, and it is so not. It is so a full, complete theatrical play, which was so refreshing to see. There was a whole play going on. You guys being on smartphone, you're at a bar. I was the bartender with the bartender, which I'm sure was intentional and it worked. But I just have to say that for me was so great, because I thought, are we going to have another conversation? Is this just a conversation? And it really, really, really wasn't. So Wendy, congratulations to you for that.
Well, thank you. We aim to be playwrights.
Good. Thank you, Paul. And I hope you saw the clip at the opening of the piece. So thank you for sharing the happy birthday, happy anniversary.
I did see it. It was a little long and embarrassing.
You know, it's hard for me to turn that piece off. So it's just.
Speaking of that piece, and this kind of bleeds into what you were asking, what people were doing or have thought of creatively. I just wanted to tell you, I already told you in an email, but I wanted to tell you, Kimberly, we're pitching So That Happened as a short form series in the UK, 10, 15-minute episodes. And I was dealing with my producing partner in London last week, and she said, and where is that woman? We have to have have that woman. Where is she? We have to have her. And I was like, I'll find her. Yeah, that's the thing. And thank you to Todd for this. You know, this is what smartphone can do, really, and not just blowing smoke. Like, she is in London and she was able to watch it and show it to people, and it's just incredible what we all can accomplish right now. And Todd gets, the bulk of the credit.
No, this is you're absolutely right. This is what it's all about. And, keeping everybody creative and productive and meeting, expanding the community. If everybody works out because of this, continues to go and get shows and whatever the format, that thrills me to know it. So that's fantastic. So that's great. That is great. Kimberly, how do you
guys? That was great. It was great.
Paul, thank you so much. And I'm thrilled for you. That is awesome. And don't keep it a secret.
I won't. And I'll be calling you, Kimberly, on the DL.
Oh my God, I love it so much. Thank you so much. That just made my whole week, right? Oh, thank you.
So Kimberly, you I'm not going to let you go without commenting on this. When we were talking the other day, you're doing a lot. You've been asked to do quite a bit of virtual theater over this time. Isn't that true?
Yeah, thankfully. This was the first, actually. Smartphone theater was the first, and this will be my fourth with smartphone theater. But actually, the Rhodes Theater also has been doing virtual performances, and then Jewish Women's Theater now.
Did you say the Rose or the Road?
The Rhodes Theater, ROADS, Rhodes Theater. Yeah. And then the Jewish Women's Theater, now they're called The Braid. I did a show that you referred me to at like almost 2 years
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had like a 6-month run, and then the pandemic hit, and that format, it's salon theater, so it really adapts to this format. So naturally, I've had like 2 or 3 performances a month with The Braid, and it's, we have live audiences, and so I'm like getting used to just being in front of this computer essentially. I think we all are, right? I think we're all getting used to sitting in front of this.
Yes, the computer becomes your best friend.
Yeah.
It really, unfortunately.
It never used to be. Like, I'm like not technically savvy, but because of this and with the pandemic, and I started a fitness class online, like I've had to become technically savvy. So it's been a good thing, I think. I think it's been a good thing.
I think knowing what you're doing in your business and whatnot, I think you're a step way beyond everybody else. You're doing great. So
thanks.
Sharon, Charan, Charan, just unmute yourself, Jay. Jay, you're up. Hello, Jay. Jay.
Hey.
All right, I'm gonna leave you. You just have to unmute yourself. So bottom left-hand corner, hit that unmute button. I'm gonna leave you on, and as soon as you unmute yourself, then we're good to go. So, all right, good. I want to say, and we have a couple notes here. Ditto to Paul's comment. This is from Rick. Ditto to Paul's comment on conversational quality of play. Felt like I was at a bar, so engrossed in overhearing their conversation that was in my own. Really good. So thank you, Rick, for that. And I want to let everybody know that next week is our actual, will be, 1 year, pretty much. We're going to say pretty much. We started on the 27th. So next week, which is the 26th, we have a play by Gina Costa, and she did the very first play, and she's bringing in a brand new piece that's going to go up next Friday. And then we're also going to have a little bit of a longer nonfiction piece in the beginning where everybody's going to sort of talk, and there's going to be hopefully a few more surprises, and that's going to happen next Friday. And then the following Friday after that, which is April 2nd, we're going to celebrate April Fool's Day with another poetry reading. And it's called Feeling Foolish, which is, they're going to be plays based around feeling foolish. So that's going to be on Friday, April 2nd. Okay. So if Jay, you're still active, but you're muted. So I'm going to assume that it was a mistake. And if anybody else has any questions, please pop your hand up right now or comments. Otherwise, to Wendy and the rest of the cast, first of all, thank you guys so much. Thanks for working so hard this week. It was really wonderful. What I like to do is send a link to everybody, which is just our sort of final toast at the end. And you can toast with it whatever you want. So as soon as this link goes, as soon as we turn off this, I am going to send you another email, and it's going to have a quick little link, and we could just say a few things to each other. And a bunch of attaboys, and then we'll be good to go, and you guys can go off on your Friday night. All right, so to our audience, both in YouTube and on our Zoom and in our world, thank you guys for continuing to support us. Remember to go to smartphonetheater.com if you want to support us even more. But thank you for coming out every week, and it really thrills me. Thank you to this wonderful cast and all the creatives that continue to make this possible, to make it happen. Wendy, thank you so much. And it was just a pleasure working with you. And I'll see all you guys in a couple seconds. And otherwise, to the audience, does anybody have any parting words that you want to share with the audience? Anybody? That's it.
Everyone, and stay safe, please.
Great.
Yeah, thank you for watching, guys.
We will be together again. We will.
Yeah, I just want to thank you. It was amazing. You guys rocked, all of you. And thank you for making the story come alive.
Great. Thank you, Wendy, very, very much.
So thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you again next week. And thank you again for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Night.